G'day everyone. So this morning I was lucky enough to get out on the beach and get this nice little feed of herring here. So that's the frames, offcuts, and there's a nice little pile of fillets there. But I thought I might run you through my zero waste filleting station, fish cleaning station. So I have mentioned this briefly on the channel before, but I thought let's have a proper look at it and give you an idea of how I go about cleaning fish and producing no waste at all. No waste whatsoever, 0% waste. So here it is. So what I've got is just got an old sink that I found on the side of the road. I've built a frame for it, so pretty basic stuff there. Frame, a bit of a backboard, frame over the top with a passion fruit vine. We'll get into that a bit later. And a bit of ply just to cut the fillets on, and mincer. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, the basics of the system. So all the solids, scales, that kind of thing, guts, go through here into the worm farm. The worms in there do their business, eat all the offcuts, and the tap runs down here onto the passion fruit vine. Now the goal with the passion fruit vine is obviously to get passion fruit, but also in fact the primary reason is to provide shade for the filleting area. So that's doing its job nicely there. What else have we got? So the secondary sink runs out onto the garden as well. You can see another hose coming through down there, and that's, I've just got that trained on the little mulberry tree that I've just planted. So that's watering that. Veggies are looking a bit tired. I've pretty much at the end of my summer crop. Pretty much just chilies to go, but it's looking like a pretty good crop of chilies for this year. I might do a chili oil video if you're interested in that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see how I make chili oil. Anyway, back to the filleting and fish processing pardon me, processing station. So fillets here, they're all cleaned up. That's the rib cages out of the fish, and that makes great dog food. Here, Bets. And some for Bets, some for Rosie. They love it. Now, what do I do with the frames? Well, I've got one remaining chook, and she loves a bit of fish frame. Come get it, girl. So she'll come and find that. There she is. She'll get into that. But the other ones, I make burley. So let me show you the process of making burley. Pretty simple, actually. Okay, so all I've got here is an old hand cranked mincer. All I do is I get the fish, feed it in the top, and start cranking. Out the front end comes this disgusting mixture here. Doesn't look particularly pleasant. That's dynamite for getting fish on the bite. Let's do another one. There we go. And if I didn't have dogs, I'd use that as fertiliser, but with the dogs, if I put that in the garden, they'd dig that up in no time. But the next step here is all I do, get an old iced coffee carton and fill it up. That's it. So I'm going to get all this ready, and then I'll show you the finished result and finish the video off. So I'm going to mince all this, and we'll see. I reckon we'll fill that tub pretty easily. Righto, all done, and that is the finished product. Now what happens with that is I simply close it up. Very easy. That goes in the freezer, and next time I'm at the beach wanting to use burley, all I'll do is I'll take out the frozen block, put it in the little mesh bag there, tie it off to my rod holder, and put it at water's edge. Very simple, but saves wasting all those frames which would otherwise go, you know, you might go in the bin or dig a hole and bury them in your backyard or whatever you're going to do with them, but this way they return to the ecosystem as burley and serve a purpose. I do want to make clear that I don't catch fish simply to use as burley. I only use frames of fish I've caught to eat, or squid, or if I've had a feed of prawns I'll put the shells through the mincer, but I do not catch fish purely to use as burley. I don't catch them and mince them. That's not what this setup is for. The other one is I'm very particular, I'm very careful about where I use burley. For example, I was at Sandtrax Beach this morning, just next to Port Beach. While I was fishing, the beach was filling up with beach users, swimmers, the clubbies were setting up for the nippers. I wouldn't use burley in that situation. You don't want to be putting fish guts into the water when people are swimming around, particularly a beach like Sandtrax or Port, where there has been in recent years a fatal shark attack. So yeah, you've got to be a bit careful about where you're putting burley in. Somewhere like the North Mole off the rocks, South Mole, I would chuck a blob straight down into the rocks and let the waves do their thing. Or if I'm fishing off the beach at night when no one's going to be swimming for, you know, 8 to 12 hours, whatever it might be, depending on the time of year, then I'll put burley in off the beach. But yeah, somewhere like this morning where there are beach users, other beach users in the area, I wouldn't use burley. But anyway, that's my zero waste fish processing station. Fish cleaning, fish filleting, whatever we want to call it. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Tight lines, guys. See you next time. Cheers all.